Hi class, so this is Carla Ramirez. I'm doing my cultural presentation on the food of Peru. So what I'm going to be going through in my presentation is a typical day of meals that a Peruvian person would be eating. Before I go into that though, let me talk about the cuisine influences. Peruvian foods are a mixture of the Asian, European, and African cultures that immigrated into Peru during the colonial period. So, depending on where those peoples came into immigrating in Peru, those different foods, each region has its own way of making different foods. So does in America, how you see food in the South is prepared different than food maybe in New York or something. So every area in Peru has their own way of making things. Maybe the dishes are the same, but the way they make that dish is different. Another cultural staple in Peruvian food is the ají pepper, which is shown to the right, which is this yellow pepper. The pepper itself comes in different colors, so this is one of the main ones that I found. This is actually a ají pepper is a little bit spicy and is mostly used in almost all Peruvian foods that they make. So with a breakfast in Peru, it's normal breakfast day is normal as we have it over here. Maybe some scrambled eggs, some ham, toast with jam and butter, and black coffee. Yes, the Peruvians like their coffee black with a lot of sugar. Now on a Sunday breakfast though, it's completely different. They love their hearty breakfasts on Sunday. So as you would see here is two different sandwiches, the top left being butifarras, the middle being el sandwich de chicharrón, and then they even have tamales for breakfast. So cheese or meat-filled tamales, they would usually have those for breakfast and those sandwiches, or even dishes that they would normally have for lunch, as you see later, they'll even have for breakfast. So here's lunch, a typical day of lunch. The top left is going to be lomo saltado, which is a vinegary stew of steak, tomatoes, onions, and fries. Yes, fries is stewed in with the meat after they've been fried, and then served with a side of rice. I've actually had this. It's pretty good. If you hadn't tried it before, I recommend it. The one in the middle is called taku taku. It's not taco taco, it's taku taku with a U. This is a rice, beans, meats, spices, pancake that is fried and usually served with an egg on top or even by itself or with a steak. This dish is actually from the African slaves that came with the other immigrants during the colonial period. They were afraid they weren't getting enough nutrients, so they just packed everything into one pancake. Was easier to take. The bottom corner, though, is a stew called carapuco, which is one of the oldest Peruvian dishes that the Peruvians have. It's made with either chicken or pork, dried potatoes, onions, and spices. Again, with the ají pepper, as you can see with the lomo saltado, there's yellow ají peppers there. Again, with the ají peppers, it's a very big continuation throughout all the meals. With dinner, though, it's even more heartier sometimes. The item that you see on the top there is called pachumanca, which literally means earth oven. What it is they would make a meal into an earthen pot and dig a hole, place that pot in the hole covered with hot Andean stones, put some sand over it, and leave it there for a while for it to cook. Hours, even days, depending on how hot the stones were. It's not necessarily a dish, it's just the way that any type of dish is made if it's made in the ground, which is very classic of Peru. The one in the middle is called ají de gallina, which is a spicy chicken stew. It's mostly for the winter time though, because it's spicy, it warms them up. And the one at the bottom is called cau cau, which is a tripe stew, and tripe is like the lining of the stomach of the cow. It's yellow because they also again use ají peppers, so it gets its yellow color. Now finally for dessert in the Peruvian culture. So Peruvian culture, they really like their sweets. Anything really sweet is what they like, is their favorite thing in the world. So what you just see in the top there is something a little bit different than what we would normally call a jelly, but it is a jelly made from purple corn. It's called masa morada, and it's mostly a Limonian uh, dessert. So Limonians are the mountain people of Peru, and this is served with like dried fruits and things like that they would find. The dessert in the middle is called alfajores, which is derivative of Arabic cookie called alehu. Yeah, alehu. And it's filled with this very sweet caramel that they make called manjar blanco. It is severely sweet. They put that caramel sauce in almost everything of their desserts. And the bottom is called leche asada, which is what the poor people or the paupers would make. It's their version of a creme brulee. It's just all the ingredients that they had at the moment that they can make a quick custard and heat it up on the top. So what we have here today is just a basic set of what is usual to eat over in Peru. And I hope that you learned or actually viewed a different culture side of meals.